Mission Papa 1153 with observation. Wind 330 at 9er, visibility 10 miles. Temperature 6, 2.1, altimeter 3016. Arrive at departing runway 34, expect D, visual approach. Advisor under contact. You have information. Papa. Number 8 Delta Lima, runway 34, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 34, 8 Delta Lima.
Love you. Bye-bye.
I began my illustrious career teaching. I taught math and science in junior high level, and I did that for 30 years. During about the 20th year, I met a woman in the next door classroom whose husband owned a nearby airport, and that began my flight career. And I started then back 1980 and have acquired ratings in a single-engine, multi-engine, helicopter, flight instructor, CFII, multi-engine instructor, and have never stopped learning. It is the best decision I've ever made. I've got about 150 people who have been successful taking flight tests, whether it's private pilot or instrument rating, commercial, helicopter, whatever it is. As far as number of students I've flown with, it's probably 3 or 4 times that many, some of them for annual flight reviews or recurrency or just learning to fly. We had 10 years of flight school at the Sky Manor Airport and 10 years at the Trenton Mercer County Airport. And now I've been doing flight training on my own and having more fun than anybody ought to be able to have. You never stop learning. You get to meet incredible people, and hopefully they will have as much enjoyment out of the experience as I have had. As a pilot, it has been very, very enjoyable. But I must tell you that it's much more enjoyable for me to be in a teaching role even than it is for me to fly places with my family. Unfortunately, the most memorable moments are when things are about to break, and then all of a sudden your adrenaline starts to rush, all your short hairs are standing straight up, and you're trying to figure out what you ought to do to keep what's already happening from being catastrophic. Those are your great learning experiences, and you find out what you're really made of when you are put in a position where if you make the wrong decision, bad things will happen. When you walk out of your house and you get into your car and you drive on I-95 or the Pennsylvania Turnpike, you are in infinitely greater danger than you are flying a small airplane. The small airplanes that we fly can land virtually anywhere with not hurting the airplane and without hurting anybody in the airplane or outside of the airplane. The reason people think it's a little dangerous is because every time there is any kind of incident involving a small airplane, it makes the news throughout the entire country. You have the national news on the major networks will feature a gear-up landing in somewhere in California, and here you are on the East Coast hearing about that. Why? Because it sells newspapers, it attracts people to the television. People love the blood and gore of things that happen like that, and they happen so infrequently that it makes the news. I guess the only one that I had a question about the outcome was when we were flying a Mooney to Harrisburg International Airport. Our airplane experienced extreme turbulence and upset. That was the only time I did not know what the outcome of the flight was going to be. Every other time in 26,000 hours, I have known exactly how the end of the flight was going to happen. If one considers getting into general aviation, you should try to find a place where the instructors will feature a gear-up landing in somewhere in California, and here you are on the East Coast hearing about that. Why? Because it sells newspapers, it attracts people to the television. People love the blood and gore of things that happen like that, and they happen so infrequently that it makes the news. If one considers getting into general aviation, you should try to find a place are doing it because they love doing it. Take your time in selecting the place to fly and then fly with an instructor, and you judge whether that instructor is for you. You want someone who really loves what they're doing and is really committed to teach you everything that you need to know to fly safely. And that's one tall ticket.